Hey, my name is Thomas and today I'm going to shoot a Contax Kiev rangefinder camera. I've got two of them and I'm going to opt for my 1938 Contax II. The simple reason is that this camera has been serviced when I bought it, whereas my Kiev 4 camera is not serviced, has some issues. It's just better to take the camera that works the best, right? So let's have a go. Okay, the camera I'm using today, it's a 1938 Contax II made by Zeiss-Ikon in Dresden in Germany. It's actually the first ever camera with a coupled rangefinder, so it sort of predates the Leica M which came out in '54. This one predates it by 18 years because it was released in 1936. And it was the most advanced camera back then. So we've got a shutter with shutter times up to 1/1250th of a second, which was super quick back then, all the way down to half of a second, plus of course long time exposures. You've got a coupled rangefinder, which is very precise because of the long base length. Frame counter, of course, and it's got a bayonet mount, which is very funny because the mount is part of the camera still, so the focusing, you can use the small wheel to focus the lens. Self-timer, of course, which also wasn't installed on all the Leica cameras back then. So this thing was, if you calculate in today's money, it was around 5,000 to 8,000 euros maybe. You remove the back like this, put this away. This is a black and white film, Agfa APX 100. You can still buy it new, but this has expired in 2005, so I hope it will work fine. So this is a very similar mechanism to every camera. Click. Should work, hopefully. You wind this so you can see now that it works. 1, 2, 3. And now here you reset your frame counter if you can work it. That's hard. Let's pretend it worked. Oh my god. I'm gonna edit this out. Oh, this is hard. 25. Oh shit. Something like that. Okay. Well, now you're ready to shoot. So this is how you hold your Contax. So the second finger is on your shutter release, third finger operates the rangefinder focusing wheel, and the fourth finger goes below, this ridge here, so you don't cover the rangefinder window, right? Okay, what you see there, up there on that building, is a golden car with wings. That's a piece of art designed by H.A. Schult in Cologne, and it was installed there in 1989 during an installation week that was called Fetish Auto, so fetish of automobile or something. A short word about the different models. So originally Contax II and III, both from 1936. The 3 is exactly the same camera, but they grafted a light meter on top of the body. It's not integrated in any way. It really works like an external light meter with selenium cells. It's not connected to the shutter speed dial or anything. It looks a bit bulky, so I always would get a Contax II model. Same goes for the Kiev 2 and 3 models from the early post-war era. Again, the 2 without light meter, and then in the mid-50s they went to the Kiev 4 that has very, very small modifications, especially on the base plate. It looks a little bit kind of cleaner or reduced. They also removed that small this foldable thing there. That you could use on the older cameras to put them on a table. Apart from that, the Kiev 4 is the one with light meter and the Kiev 4A is the one without. The light meter itself is a little bit smaller now, but again, I would always get one without. And then last not least, we've got the Kiev 4A with light meter and the AM without. These were from the mid-70s through the 80s, have some more very small design changes, but nothing really serious. And also note that the later cameras are marked with 1/1000 of a second shortest shutter time, whereas the older ones have 1/1250, but in reality it doesn't make a difference. And last not least, keep in mind the 4M and the 4AM models, the last ones. They are said to have the lowest manufacturing quality, but if you buy today a used camera, always factor in that it needs some TLC to really work perfectly. Let's go for f11. So one thing I never like about all these rangefinder cameras, it doesn't matter if Leica or Contax, is close focus. This stops at 0.9 meters and it's like maybe like this. So you can't really zoom in on small details, whereas an SLR always can do that. It often annoys me, even though I know that many famous photographers apparently never cared about that problem. Time for the verdict. As always, it's hard to give an objective verdict for such an old camera. For a 1936 model, this camera is super modern, has a lot of features, but still, if you compare it to a 1954 Leica M3, then of course the M3 wins hands down. It's so much easier to shoot, has a such nicer, bigger viewfinder. With frame lines and parallax correction and everything. There is just no contest. But on the other hand, the Contax has a very long base length for the rangefinder, so that's super accurate, even better than Leica M models. But yeah, doesn't matter today. You're not going to shoot a 180mm lens with your rangefinder camera today, right? And in terms of price, the Contax models are not that expensive. They tend to be cheaper even than Leica screw mount cameras. Maybe it's a different name, I don't know. People don't really think about the Contax rangefinder system when they want to have a rangefinder camera. And the Kiev cameras are even cheaper, of course. They tend to be cheaper the newer they are. Again, that's because of the quality issues in production. Overall, you can have a lot of fun if you are looking for a deliberate vintage experience, if you want to reenact how it was to be a pro in the 1930s. These cameras are fantastic, and they also give great results. The lenses are also fantastic for the time, and even today, if you stop down a little bit, they are super sharp. So overall, a lot of fun, but don't expect this to perform anything like a modern rangefinder camera in terms of comfort. So that's it for today. I hope you found this useful. If you did so, then please leave a like. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet, and hit the small bell button. And if you've got any questions or comments about these old cameras, write something in the comment section below. I always love to read all your comments, and I will happily answer every single one of them. So have a great time, live long and prosper, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.